especially Kunkka just honestly was so, and Zephyr, so Kunkka and Zephyr released. So I still think that T1 can totally win, but I agree with your analysis that I think Creep Wave is the better draft here.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think you know, in the first game, I think Creep Wave didn't even got to play Dota. I think honestly, with this draft, they have a much higher chance of at least doing that.
I will say though that I believe that T1's draft is probably easier to execute just because Medusa.
For battle.
Right?
Yeah,
like
you're right. You're right.
All you need to do is farm on Medusa. Medusa carries the game, right? And eventually, all you need to do is it's very similar to what Kunkka did last game, where role is to sacrifice himself to make sure Drow is not strong enough.
And I think
it's okay for him to die a bunch as long as Medusa survives that.
You're all washed up.
True. You have to go past the lanes, right? And in the first game, there were a lot of problems with what Creep Wave did, but one of the big ones was that they lost the lanes really hard. So hopefully they do a better job here. I think Kunkka should have a pretty decent time versus the Shrek. I also feel like Drow doesn't really care about MP that much. Yes, she's a range hero, but they do have the Bane, and he trades so well that even though he's a range hero, he doesn't care about treants. It's probably one of the best supports you have in that lane. Range supports, at least.
That's very true, actually. I mean, he's not going to be able to clear him, as you said. But, well, you can get shard later on, though, and clear them relatively easily.
Yeah, it's not really about clearing. It's just that, like, you don't lose that much HP just because Brain Sap is so spammable.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is that, like, in the... Oh, actually, that was quite the slow by
60% damage reduction.
Oh, my God. Can't believe I get to say big shield crash by Zephyr nowadays. But, yeah, so what I was saying, though, is that in the mid-game, it is true that you can kind of abuse the Bane, because you don't really have it here that can go into the dead lane and deep push it as easily until we hit minute 20, and then you get the shard on Bane, and honestly one of the best shards in general for heroes because it mitigates his one biggest weakness, and then you can just easily split push.
I'm really curious to see what Kunkka is gonna build, because I think he was very selfless with the way he played game 1 with the Legion. I think this game he has to be a little bit more greedy. I would love to see the Orchid. I would love to see anything that can just stop the Fiend's grip. If he does that consistently, I think the game is just much easier for...
Yeah, I would agree. Kunkka, I think, is a big... I think Kunkka's gonna be a big reason, or like I want to see the impact he can have on Nature's Prophet in general, right? Regardless of like, you're right on what you mentioned, but I'm interested in what Kunkka's plan for this Nature's Prophet is, because I don't think traditional Nature's Prophet as we see him is enough to justify this pick just yet. Which, by the way, he's gonna suffer. There's the Fisher. You have a Brain Sap as well. Body block by Fishman not too successful. Still can use the Brain Sap. A little extra damage. And Kunkka is going to die. First blood going the way of Creep Wave. Whitemon not strong enough to stop Fishman. Well done.
It was actually so good by Fishman. He actually canceled his attack just to give first blood to Tristalis. Kinda dangerous, because sometimes you can do that and the enemy just survives. But it did work, so kudos to him.
I can imagine Bane is one of the few heroes, or few fives as well, that can, at least out of the range ones, that can actually tank the tower.
Yeah, such amazing stats on that bad boy.
Yeah, nice little 5 base armor, good HP, nice regen. He's one of the lane dominator 5s that we stopped seeing last patch. You know, the Ogres, the Banes, the Elder Titans. Yeah. They kind of phased out over, especially towards the end of the patch.
Let's see, we're gonna change. The hero's looking really good, especially when you first pick it and like no one addresses the hero, which might change, you know, if Bane starts looking really good. So far, doesn't feel like T1 sees any problem with Fisherman playing that.
No, I agree. I mean, I think they should respect it a bit more. I also think Bane's really good. I think the Nightmare buff is actually incredible. I hasn't even mentioned it for some reason. It actually mentioned
true.
The
pure damage.
It's interesting. They haven't really fixed the tooltip properly, but yeah, now that it deals the pure damage, it deals 210 pure damage at level 4. It's actually pretty good.
Two-legged abomination.
Fighting Whitemon to the death, but he's gonna be fine. Slacks all over the game.
The lanes, right?
Whitemon is really struggling against his Bane. It's just like, please stop hitting me. He's trying to find the place out. He's blocking the camp still. Well done, Whitemon. But Fishman's still getting a lot of harassment in.
Score one for the service.
Oh, they're
Dire's
you shake your meadows.
structures are fortified.
I guess they don't even need a shake.
Well, they do. There's the fissure. Just in case, you know, Shaker wanted to be useful here. We have a torrent. Oh, no. Torrent at 4 seconds. They didn't want to chase after that.
Okay. He gave up. He thought it was not possible.
I mean, you know, I think he took more advantage of the creep waves that way, and the team's name is Creep Waves. I think that's the most important part of it.
That is true. You gotta...
Do you know, by the way, why they're called Creep Waves?
Bounty!
I don't.
Radiant's
It's a great
courier
story.
has
So
been killed.
Fishman, the captain of this, the guy who has the slot as well, he was playing a pub, and I forgot who it was, but someone told him that like he was playing badly, he was having a bad pub, right? And they told him that he is so bad that they'd rather just have another creep wave in the game, as opposed to him, you know, being the 5. And so they called him his team Creep Wave. He's like, well, I guess we're as good as a Creep Wave. That's the Creep Wave story.
Okay. I mean, sometimes all you need is a creep wave, but that's a funny story. That's pretty cool.
Fishman owning his toxicity in pubs.
Yes.
For those of you who think that you stop getting flamed once you reach Immortal, that is not true. Kunkka,
That is not true at all.
he is gonna try to TP out, but unfortunately damage is too high. And Chuvash deciding we're back to the tri-lane days, not leaving this top lane whatsoever. Neither is Fishman, and leaving the Timbersaw alone, having a pretty easy time as they're actually completely destroying Kunkka early.
I think one change that I noticed, like usually you would never lane a shaker in the bottom lane just because you didn't really get a lot of value out of it. But now with the bounty rune spawning on both sides and water rune spawning on both sides, it feels like as a roamer, you could be anywhere. And I think he is getting a lot of value out of his rotation in TPs. I'm very impressed by Shu so far. The way he's moving.
I agree. I mean, I told you, he likes his beefy 4, so I think he's just waiting for his time to come back and be able to gank again with these heroes. They find Whitemon. No spike Carpus, which means he might be a kill. Never mind, got a beautiful impale off this. Whitemons, those slow by the frost arrows, they're coming into this. Body blocked by the treants, and they can't reach him. Ooh, the multi-shot! Barely short. They even got BZM God, Hansha, into the game, but he's not going to be enough to kill off Whitemon just yet. He's actually just going to die. Going for the MP. They use the ghost ship. Kunkka is going to be sunk down to the depths of the ocean, where they will drown him from.
And this is awful because Carl actually tried to TP and help, and he has to cancel the TP. Now he's walking back. He's not farming, whereas Hansha is just doing so much around the map. This is a totally different creep wave.
Yeah. Seriously, this draft feels much stronger for them, not gonna lie. They feel like they can
They
do
feel like
things.
mega creeps, honestly. It's not a normal creep wave.
There's the creep with wolves from the Lycan. Carl, to bring it back, Fishman. Okay, Fishman thought they were playing more aggressive than they were, and instead he put himself in a really precarious position, killed off by the Leshrac. Unfortunate. Well, that's the first kill for T1. Not the most valuable one, but they needed that. And it's a bit for the Leshrac as well, who's going to start improving it.
Okie dokie. So I'm very interested about this Leshrac hero because, you know, when I read the notes, I was like, all right, they actually made Edict here, and they pretty much just tuned the damage so that it would do relatively the same amount of damage to towers.
Is under attack.
But if you actually click on the Ancient, he or like even the towers, I'm sorry, like the tier 3 has 16 armor, tier 2 and tier 1 actually has 12. So against these higher armor targets like the tier 3, you will do more damage just because it's pure, so it's unaffected by that. And I think that is kind of a buff that a lot of people maybe didn't realize yet. Very interested to see how much damage Carl's going to be able to do to those bigger targets, bigger Ancients.
You also do much more damage to heroes. Most of the time.
Yes.
Right? Unless you're playing with like a slot RTA or something.
Especially cores.
Yes. Yes. Agility cores particularly. Right? Now they fall. In fact, Lesh versus Morphling, that is a fun time now. you activate Diabolic Edict, and if you catch him with a single split earth, he will melt. Whereas before, Diabolic Edict actually didn't do that much damage to a Morphling or a Timbersaw, for example. Talk about the Lesh though. They try to go for Crystallis. Really good body blocks by Whitemon, but they needed that Sprout. Kunkka, that's stopped by Chuvash. And Whitemon He has been slowed down by the Frost Arrows. Already the Spike Carpus. They blocked the multi-shot with a Triads. Kunkka
You'll have to do better than
properly
that.
get downing Mr. President, creating sacrificial pawns for himself, so his core or his support won't die.
Oh man, I'm so sad for Carl. This is the second rotation where he goes to a lane. Oh, and he might die. Oh no.
Oh, the ghost ship. Chuvash, and he's trying to get the fissure damage. They're trying to kill up Carl. They get both at the same time thanks to the double damage. They even killed Zephyr in the bottom lane. Cuckoo, he tried to TP and help, but he's not strong enough. BZM God with the double damage. Too powerful.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
This is an outstanding performance.
Standing performance?
Outstanding.
Oh, outstanding. I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering what about the perform. Okay, if you sit down, you don't perform as well. There's the Pango here coming by. Oh, they're actually almost going to kill Whitemon. Spike Carpus level 1, not good enough for the stun. We still have the double damage. He wants one last Tidebringer. He will get it, but Hansha, or PCM rather, put himself in a really precarious position now. They just need one more stun. That's going to guarantee the kill. And they also get Chubashu in the back line, so a bit of overconfidence here by Creep Wave. They thought, oh, we can just sneak in one more kill. But the moment you're thinking, I can sneak in a kill, is the moment you should stop.
That is true. They really wanted that tower. It was looking really good. But I do think this is a good move by T1. In the last game, they were also very persistent in defending this T1 tower, which ended up just giving them a free game. So they do defend. I don't think this is gonna last too much. Probably in the next catapult wave it will fall, but they do at least like hold the ground a little bit for the Medusa to keep farming, which 25th Savage is doing a really good job right now. Much more farm than the Drow.
I just want to point out, wonderful Kips in the chat told us of the story I told about the creep wave earlier. It was Ramses who flamed. It's interesting because now I feel like half of the player pool has story. Like Vanskor also had a story about Ramses flaming him. I guess that's just, if you play in Eastern Europe, you're gonna get flamed by Ramses at some point. That's incredible. He is making the lore for half these teams. So thank you for that, Kips. Oh, she has video evidence. Oh, wow. Incredible.
Wow. Okay. I mean, one of the most like iconic flames from Ramses is the cancel move. So I totally believe her.
And then there's the Vanskor one where he said that Vanskor is an old man, that he can't hit anything, and then Vanskor eliminated him from the close qualifiers and proceeded to retweet that.
I mean, you gotta be careful with who you flame, dude. Puppy flame Thompson, you know, that iconic flame. So you might just make a hero out of the person you flame.
Honestly, I think if you flame someone, it's like your Jinx game, Bowie. You know, it's like how a caster plays a player and they start losing. If you flame someone in a pub, they will win TI. That's how it works. So
dude, yeah, and they might win TI against you. So like, be very careful.
Amar in the bottom lane, he's trying to just finish off this tower. It's not that valuable, you know, tier 1 off lane, but I think more teams these days, when you can play aggressively, start taking this tier 1 off lane, take over the triangle a bit sooner. I think some teams will consider this, particularly against like Dusa drafts, Terrorblade drafts, you know, because it's easier to kill them now in the triangle with the nerfs they received.
And it's just like it is just a free lane that a lot of heroes cannot make use of. But as a Timbersaw, because you're unkillable, you definitely make a lot of use. Oh, cool.
It's important for Creepwave to hold their ground right now. As BCM just stuns himself, so does Crystallis. They're realizing the power of the Nyx. And BCM, he's going to be going for a build that a lot of people have been theorizing these days. What do you think of this? The Shadowblade Kunkka back in action. Due to the changes now, since you combine it with Crystallis to get Silver Edge.
It is good, I think, against the Nature's Prophet specifically, since you know there's going to be some split push going on. There's definitely value there. I'm also interested to see what they will build on this Timbersaw. So it's going U-Scepter. Alright, okay. It's going to be some extra catch for them.
I can see that being good, right? Because you, like, it's great for Nyx. The spell Shield Crash on Pango, kind of major, because it's your maximum.
Oh, true.
You can also usually consider, right? But it's very valuable these days now.
Yes.
Bane just going for the casual Glimmer Cape. And the NP actually didn't go Orchid as I talked about. He's going Atos. That's
anti-Timber?
I guess. Huh. I mean, it's a lot of stats, so he's going for a super heavy stats build. Has the treads. We'll see how this unfolds. They did buff Gleipnir a lot. Maybe that's something he tries out.
You know, kind of legitimate. I can imagine him being one of the few heroes that are as good with Gleipnir. I think that item is underrated personally. I think it's much better than people give it credit for.
Yeah, I think the problem with Gleipnir, honestly, is just that it costs a lot of mana. But NP is definitely a hero that doesn't care about that because you have the free trip back to base and you also need the hero. So, generally speaking, you're going to be fine.
We're going to hear a smoke, or we're going to see a smoke, rather. Because you don't hear these. These are silent, much like Whitemon, silent but deadly. And you get the kill on Chu. And go for the easy one. Chuvash is down. And maybe Amar as well, but VZM is here to join him. He has the Shadow Blade, catches up to Carl, sets up the Torrent, saw the Ghost Ship. Well, never mind. Can't use either because Carl has a Yulsa throw already, stuns himself, BZM still hasted, Carl just dying to the Timbersaw at this rate. He doesn't activate the ball kick, he's gonna die to the Tidebringer cleave there. Fishman still has that Fiend's Grip. Nightmare first, that's gonna set up for the Ghost Ship.
Is under attack.
And at this rate, they're gonna catch 2 cores relatively easily. Creep Wave leaving no survivors. In fact, they want a third one. It's gonna be Zephyr, but they can't get off the Fiend's Grip in time.
Okay. Yeah, that's really what I was scared about when I saw this NP pick. Because I think they have... First of all, they have no answer to the Kunkka. You have literally no answer, no save. And this Bane is just walking around, just setting up kills with Nightmare into Torrent. And it doesn't feel like Fishman is afraid of anything this game. This is scary, but on the other hand, we will see a Gleipnir, I think.
Cool.
Cuckoo did queue it up.
Alright. I go for Chuvash.
Let's see if that can change the tide.
Echo Slam! Chu wants to get the counter kill against Whitemon, and they might find it thanks to the help of BZM. He does have that X marks the spot. Bring back Whitemon, but the Spike Carp is preventing him from dying. Beautiful and pale, and Whitemon, he is elusive. He knows what it feels like to die, and he doesn't want to experience that again. But Amar knows no chill. There's a reason why the TF is part of his name, which I can't say on stream though. And he's not gonna be able to chase down Whitemon, unfortunately.
Tower is under attack.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really happy for ATF because in the first game it kind of felt like it was an ATM 4T1, but in this game
that was good. That was good.
In this game he's 3-0. He's just styling on everyone. This is a much better game for him.
Yep, I agree. I mean, Timbersaw is one of his favorite heroes, right? There's a reason. I mean, this guy used to be a mid laner. Then you go into the off lane, you feel like it's less of a protagonist role, and Timbersaw is like playing mid from the off, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, people were saying that, oh, Timbersaw got super mega nerfed, and maybe he was because he's not getting first phase ban as much, but he's still like super viable. I think SG won with it. Now we're gonna see. I mean, Creep Wave's looking pretty good with Timbersaw right now. Hero still very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, he just made his laning worse a bit. Right? So he struggles more against his counters because Timber Chain got nerfed heavily in damage. But I don't think he's that much worse. I think the Winter Wyvern nerfs actually are bigger than the Timbersaw nerfs, personally.
Oh, definitely, especially the core. I mean, core Wyvern, I think is dead.
How many
does have Cauto now?
Need to kill, you know.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, in Nine's defense, Wyvern was already pretty much set up for buffs. Ice Frog just had to also... I'm sorry,
for nerfs.
Yeah, Ice Frog just nerfed core and support Wyvern, unfortunately.
That's true, that's true. They just want to make sure that Tundra can't get to TI. He's like, oh, that was too close, Tundra. You are never making it this close again. They found Cuckoo in the bottom lane. Up in the air, and poor Nature's Prophet will get down with a couple of broken bones. Everything committed for him. Happy. And for now, this Shadow Blade build working nicely for PZM. A callback to the old times when Kunkka was treated as an initiator and not just a big tanky sailor.
And mind you, that kill was with Shaker not having Blink Dagger. His Blink Dagger's flying out now. I'm just very impressed he win for this Nature's Prophet. I'm having a hard time understanding exactly what they wanted, but like with my kind of dumb analyst brain, all I see is like a lot of reach on the side of Creep Wave, and like it just counters NP so much. Yep. We'll see. Maybe Gleipnir is just so broke and it doesn't matter. it definitely, you know, with you being a global hero, it can have a lot of impact, I think.
Fishman?
Oh no, I just jinxed him again.
No, he knows. He knows there's Carl nearby. He doesn't know how to deal with the creeps. Bane's biggest enemy, more than one unit. What does he do now? There's too many. He can't deal with them.
It's just that he is from creep wave, so he respects creep wave. He's not gonna...
Right. He's a vegan in Dota. I see. They're gonna find poor Zephyr, and he's gonna die immediately. To Amar, Puncha, trying to reach after Cuckoo. He does have a haste rune here. Oh, immediate Atos. Not gonna be able to reach him with that. So, the one point I wanted to mention about Gleipnir earlier, which I think is why I think the item is undervalued, is that Gleipnir gives you Atos that goes through fog. Very undervalued part of the item. You can actually use it preemptively. You can use it on teams where you don't see them. They can't juke you with Gleipnir. Is very strong in that sense.
And does it give you vision once it hits?
Radiant's middle
like
tower
if you...
is under attack.
Okay. I actually didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
But only for a brief second. Doesn't give you vision while we read it though.
Radiant's bottom tower
okay.
is
Like
under
you will see the two hit them, but you're not gonna get vision to cast spells. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can probably just sprout, right? Since you do know where they are, so...
Also, if you're good, it tells you how many enemies there are, because it throws a projectile based on how many there are in the area. So if you can count the projectiles, you're like, oh, there's 4 people there. I'm playing here.
Alright.
There's a lot of like those kind of hidden interactions that people don't immediately think about, but I give you a lot of information on the item.
Alright. So... looks like I think the timing for T1 once again will be this Skadi. You know, I think we might just be singing Creep Wave a little bit too many praises because they did get Roche. I think they're playing really well, but it's only 2k goal lead and they're yet to take a tier 2 tower. So you still have to fear and respect this Medusa.
That's what we're saying, right? It's not like T1 is a hard game to execute. They just farm Medusa, win game. Medusa go burn.
Yes.
Radiant's bottom tower is
and
under
I think
attack.
overall they're struggling to use this Aegis advantage. I feel like they played really well up to that point, but they might be just slightly complacent with the way they're playing right now. I think this tower, this tier 2 should already be down. Crystallis is alone. Not alone, but he hit.
Yeah, he's being hit. No, wrong position. He does force up to the high ground, but Pango falls through with this. Fishman has a Fiend Script, hasn't been able to use it. Fishman, saved by the gods. There's the Fiend Script going on the Pango, the Fendler of the game, and it's going to get a kill on the Pango, working out nicely. Pointing Savage not there in time. Fishman saving himself with a pogo stick, as Cuckoo also falls here to Amar. That's the TF coming into play here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
That is a really good fight. They're gonna take tower.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
This is good. They have to keep the pace. Age is gonna expire, but I think this is finally like what you should expect to get with the first Ages in a game like this one.
Yeah, I guess in a game like this one, with the little push that you have, maybe a tier 2 is the best you can afford, right? Like one tier 2.
Well, let's see if you were right. Because they won another one, and this Aegis is going to expire in 15 seconds.
The classic creep wave.
Oh boy.
Biting a bit more than they can chew, or perhaps not. Perhaps BDM is too good. They actually position themselves nicely to kill the mix. Can they do so?
3 seconds.
In a second. Set it up. That's 3 seconds, but he lost his first life. Now he's out of position, though. They can't punish this. Fisherman can't help him out with a nightmare. Gonna be coming back with work on the Hurricane Flash Battle to get away. And the Echo Slap to reinitiate. But they don't have enough damage for the Medusa just yet. They're just trying to stop him from hitting. Fisherman will die for sure. Crispler is trying to get away. Avoid split earth from Carl. And Carl now has been hit by the Echo on the spot. I don't know if they're in the winning position, though. Freeway, they will get Carl. Amar is still alive, but Crispler might not be so lucky. He's brought down by the Vendetta. Whitemon takes the kill. And they also hit Amar with the Fae Bomb, which means they now see him enough time to get that Sprout off. And the Atos as well, guaranteeing the kill on Amar the Friendly. Wicked 6 streak going the way of T1. And Deuce is still alive in this engagement. They kill Whitemon though with a Shadow Blade crit. And now he TPs in the middle of this. They can't stop this. Oh, he actually stopped it himself. It's fine. They think they're counter-initiating. Fiend's Grip in 3 seconds. But we did use the Sinister Gaze. Fishman has to survive the gaze. At least Fishman, Glimmer Cape. But they see him thanks to the Atos. They don't need the evasion. Fishman saving himself with a bit of healing from the Brain Sap. The Sprout actually working against them. And they taunt the Medusa. She's out of mana. They could go for 23 Savage. But BZM lacks the consistent damage to actually bring her down. Fiend's Grip was up, but they didn't have the resources to kill her.
Yeah, that was really close. 23 Savage was very bold with the way he played, but I think Creep Wave, they were the bold ones, because I don't think they really needed to get the tier 2 tower. It I mean, that was actually lucky because if T1 respected the Aegis... Oh, sorry.
They have Carl? It's big. Now there's success on Queen's Grip. And he's far away enough so he won't die to the Leshrac. That's going to be a valuable kill here for Creepwave.
All right. Yeah, like as I was saying, they actually didn't wait for the Aegis. If they waited like 1 second, they would get the Drow kill and they could kill even more people. So that was the best case scenario for Creepwave, and even that didn't was not great. Yeah, you have to be careful. Tier 1, they won last ESL. These guys are really good, and if you slip up, they will eat you alive.
Dire's middle
time for
tower
tier 2.
is under attack.
No Lash.
I mean, I think what they understand, though, is that one thing I really like about T1 is that they knew they could beat a Drow twice there. And they took their chances because of that. And they actually got a kill that they probably weren't expecting to. Now, they also find Amar. Oh, the tip comes out from Carl. The Bone Thunder comes through with a Gleipnir. They can catch up to him. That Glimmer Cape is not going to be enough to save him. They have no stuns here to cancel his TP, so he's capable of TPing away. But they got Amar, and Carl, he's leading this charge with a Treant. Got a Yo Scepter, one last Treant, slightly body blocking Fishman, and they will find him. That's a dead Bane here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think the play was fine to go tier 2 there, but you have to be better positioned, and I don't think Creepwave really positioned well around that tower, and they just get heavily punished. This Medusa starts to get super scary, even though the Drow counters it. Medusa is like 6k gold ahead. This is almost a 50% like net worth difference between cores.
Radiant structures
There's a chemical So yeah, you're right. That makes it difficult for them to actually beat the Medusa. I think the supporting cast for T1 is also doing a really good job here, and they're taking the right fights. Can I say this though? Maybe Chuvash hit by the Wrath of Nature. Fissure kind of used defensively. Oh, Amar. Amar, you're crazy.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Unless 23 Savage might be crazier. Is this Carl I'm watching or 23 Savage? He's apparently gonna fight to the death here. There's no Stone Days. They need to help him somehow. There's the Rolling Thunder. That's gonna be a bit of help. But the Fiend Script catches him. And is that going to be enough to finish him off? They don't have the damage just yet from these Ferrets stacking through all of this. The Torrent included. Finally, though, they'll be able to bring down the tanky Medusa. Crystallis falls, however, to the secondary cores. There's Cuckoo and Carl. They're also going to be able to find BZM God. And BZM, no longer a god, but a dead mortal. Amar, also in trouble. They break the Sprout immediately. They Gleipnir him. Amar has the Timber Chain. Will be able to find the farthest tree away from him. Has not been solved with a lucky shot, but it's almost Timber too. And that might just be enough. He gets one more kill into Kunkka, though. Amar's still alive. Amar getting out of this one. And we still have an Echo Sun for Chuvash. He has to be careful. Zephyr can't get close. There's the Echo Sun used. They carry through Carl.
God.
Creepwave actually turned this around because of Amar.
Yeah, Timbersaw is trash, guys. Hero got heavily nerfed. Cannot play the hero anymore.
Oh my god, dude. I mean, I thought that was a really good fight, but T1 as well, baiting the Medusa, forcing Creepwave to call out your tankiest hero first. I like the idea, but I guess Timbersaw's still too powerful. They underestimated the power of this hero.
Yeah, I think the fight was really good by both sides. DNP actually went for the backlines and started hitting the Drow. That's how they ended up getting the kill. But once you kill the Drow and the Medusa is dead, I think you... chasing the Timber was probably the mistake that T1 made. They definitely didn't respect him that much. That Timber is so farmed. He is the highest net worth hero on the side of Creepwave, actually. Maybe because of all of those kills, but he was still like super farmed. Okay. So NP going for a BKB now. Shaker's feeling super impactful. He's 0-4 and 13, but I'm definitely... he's doing a lot despite not having the shard, which was what made Shaker good before they destroyed the shard. He was trash again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That one time where it was like, oh, is Shaker playable again?
Radiant's
but it's okay, it's TI passive you said, so Shaker has to be killed.
Exactly. Okay, Roche is up.
Amazing what you found laying around.
I think the problem right now is that because Creepwave didn't really choke T1 as much as they wanted, even though Drow counters Medusa, Medusa is Omega farmed, and I think this Roche like has to be Creepwave, or else this game might just snowball out of control.
Whitemon.
Radiant's
We'll
middle
find
tower is under
him
attack.
with the fissure. And that's gonna be a dead mix. Not that big a deal, but at least you get rid of the scout, which might give you a chance to go for Savage here. Savage once again, he's playing really aggressively. This might be the same play as before, but will succeed a second time. But did he succeed the first time? There's a Rolling Thunder, the counter initiation's here, and Carl with the BKB, he's bringing down Chrysalis. Chrysalis doesn't last at all against Carl. This time, T1 knew exactly what they were hoping for. Baited out the Medusa and got the kill on Chrysalis. Jeffer deciding to roleplay as an armadillo. That's not going to help him. Kunkka now trying to run away. Wrath of Nature has the Sprout, Gleipnir himself, but he's still dead.
Okay, so there is buyback on P. They could still go for the buyback and protect Roche if T1 deems that's important.
We bring down Zephyr, so at least a small kill here.
This Orchid, Kunkka's buy Orchid sometimes, but it's so much value this game because the Medusa went for Senjin instead of Skadi or BKB, Manta or BKB. It kind of debated them when they went for the Medusa the first time, but overall I think there's a lot of value in this. They don't have like a Lotus Orb, no Dispel heroes on the side of T1.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Shard on the Drow, that's so good versus Medusa.
Yeah, I agree actually. Shard got steadily improved as well. You know, the talent, pretty good for the Shard as well. People went from thinking it's the worst Shard in the game to actually thinking, yeah, it's pretty decent. I'll pick it up whenever I can.
Yeah, like, it's not amazing, but I do feel like
Dire's middle tower is
just
under attack.
like the region reduction to have against Medusa, like usually you see Medusa's going for Satanic eventually. The Dispel is actually really good on Medusa this game because you're against this Orchid, but it might not even be an option for Savage anymore just because of that region reduction. So it's like much better than Skadi.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Radiant's
Skadi
bottom
is
tower under
good because
attack.
it pierces BKB, right? Because Medusa never goes for BKB, or usually doesn't. It doesn't really matter. So that's where
And it
Frostbite
is
was
much cheaper than Skadi too.
Obviously, yes. Actually, that's a big point, right? Fishman, there's the Rolling Thunder, and that's going to be Fishman. Chuvash, he's thinking about going in, but I think this is the wrong choice. Well, I'm going to go in anyway. Amar, doesn't know the meaning of the word fear. That's why he's going to be able to experiment the cockroach. Amar just leading 23 Savage the wrong way. Gust misses though. Amar tanking this nicely. He has a Bloodstone side. You're not killing Amar. Amar just wants a hug. That's why he's called Amar the Friendly. Come on, help him out. He just wants to play with you, Pango. Goes up to the high
that
ground.
friendly though.
Whirling dead. There's the Chakram. Got him to pieces. Zephyr tries to roll into a ball, but it's gonna be the Kunkka that brings him down.
Right.
I don't know what
Wave.
the TF could possibly mean otherwise, but wait, clearly it's just Amar the Friendly.
Yes. He definitely is very friendly with the
With the Timbersaw.
huge net worth. 18k gold net worth. Oh, Carl.
So-
Hello. Wanna play?
You know, Amar really likes being called by his name, right? He doesn't like being called by ATF or anything. But I think he's okay with being called
Radiant are
Chadmar,
scanning.
which is what his real name is.
I see.
You have an orchid.
What?
What just happened? How did FP... Oh, he has a BKB. Right. I mean,
I don't
you could have just
understand.
orchided him. I guess he could have just BKB TP, but I don't understand why he did that.
Okay.
Easy M thinking he's too good for the game.
Oh boy. All right. So can T1 win this game?
I
think
love that
they-
Fishman decided to D-ward before killing Whitemon, sorry. As they're going to get another kill. Whitemon, not a big a deal, but one extra.
Two masts on this brigantine.
Oh, Timbersaw 25 already. Jesus. He's ahead of the Medusa. He's been farming the whole game. He's 15-2. What? This is insane. Beautiful.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, the Timber also has no... I mean, virtually, T1 just didn't look at the bottom side of the draft because the Bane's free, Drow's pretty free, Timbersaw has no counters but the Lash, right?
You're right. We did mention that in the draft, right? They were pretty much just copying the playstyle they went for in game 1 instead of like trying to counter, which sometimes can be good. I do feel like, you know, with the meta changing though, you gotta be careful because they did go for some very different heroes than Medusa is used to playing against. At least like before 730 came out.
I mean, Drow aside, right? The Drow,
Yeah.
Medusa's struggling against a lot. I think the new build on Kunkka for PZM also helped him out a lot. I think the Orc is pretty strong this game, as you mentioned. The Shadow Blade was really useful for setting up a... like, we don't usually see Kunkka setting up that much tempo these days anymore. He's just a tank. They don't actually set up kills. Shadow Blade helps you a lot there. BZM using that G20, white one to target, destroyed by the ghost ship. Marshall can't get a boost damage. It's a hex, by the way. Oh, but it was Christmas up to the high ground. Easy. Swashbuckle. He does have the Aegis, though. Has the Hurricane Fight to get down, so he's choosing to stay here. And the Fiend Script will actually catch 23 Savage. He's out of mana because the Fiend Script's active. And that's going to be a dead Medusa for Creepwave. That Fiend Script, let's not forget, it actually does take away part of your mana every second, so super huge counter to Medusa finally got to do it.
Dude, it's been so long since Bane was viable that I totally forgot about that part. Yep. But you're right. He drains mana, and you have no hero pretty much on the tier 1 that can easily cancel that. This is... oh yeah, this is an oversight for sure. There's no way. It's so much mana that you can take out.
I was telling this to Richie actually last game that most people, when they think of Bane, they think of him being, or yesterday rather. People think of Bane as a hero being cancelled by stuns, but that's actually not true for the most part. He's cancelled by the dispels, right? Because if someone has to go out of their way to stun you, that's a win for Bane in a way. You're a 5 after all. But if someone has to just wait to press the attack or a false promise or whatever from range, that's not that big of a deal. As we get into the fight, by the way, BKB from Carl. He doesn't want to get stopped. Oh, Nightmare. Actually, Shade Crystal's for the damage, but that's not going to be enough. He has no Ace any longer. And 23 Savage is here to fight. Amar gets through the Sprout, though, with the Whirling Death, capable of Timber chaining himself to safety, but they have lost their carry. They forced the buyback. That's all they could do. Still a good fight for T1, though, taking down the carry.
Yeah, but that's huge. That is win condition now for Creepwave. 23 Savage. He has a mark on his back. If he dies again, things get super ugly. Because I don't feel like, you know, they might just get a tier 2. Oh, maybe if the Timber dies, they can get more.
Okay.
Shredmar, can you die?
Yeah, he's gonna die. That's gonna be a really good kill for T1. Oh, maybe not. Heals. Find the spirit. Okay, Amar. Yeah, he's finally gonna fall. Yeah, the Scotty, even with the Hex there, that was just too strong. And this is a huge opportunity now for T1. They should be able to push down the tier 1, or the tier 3 rather.
Yeah, I actually thought he died back, but he's just level 26. That's why his respawn timer is so big.
Alright, let's go, T1. The tier 2 is taken down. Will they proceed any further? Oh, apparently not, actually. They decided not to go for it.
Yeah, there's no buyback on Medusa. Like, if Timber has buyback there,
it's too dangerous.
It'd be super risky. Yeah.
Right. One thing that I like that Savage is doing, by the way, this game, which I think needed to be an earlier pickup, but I get why he didn't go for it, is he's going for Ag Shard now to deal with the Bane.
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah, Shard and the Ag
super counter.
Sorry.
And I don't think Glimmer counters that, right? Because I feel like the snake follows you regardless of invisibility.
Yes, the snake. Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you're the main target, I think it does, right? I think it hits you regardless.
Yeah, so it should, even if he glimmers before using Fiend's Grip, it should cancel. We'll see. I know I'm the analyst, but all right.
Yeah, you
Dota makes this analysis very easy by making, you know, things that seem very obvious, not obvious at all. So, especially with Bane being a hero that is not picked in the last year, but we'll see. At least we'll learn.
No? I mean, T1 is like we've said the whole game. Like they're still not in that bad a position because Medusa exists, right? And actually, MP can become that secondary carry you need. So it's never like completely open to them.
I would agree. Medusa also gets 25 now, so the Scotty there will be able to hit the Timber, hit everyone, reducing the HP regen.
They just got Witchbane.
Ooh.
That is actually kind of insane here against Medusa. Because in case you guys don't know what Witchbane does, new neutral item, the passive, or the active, sorry, is that it purchases allies in a 300 unit radius, which is not a big a deal. Enemies and allies. But the active, it deals 7% of the enemy's max mana per attack as magic damage. Doesn't drain it, just deals the damage. But of course, against heroes like Medusa, it's kind of bonkers.
Yeah, it is. I mean, against Timbersaw, it has 2.4k mana.
No, this is for creep wave, dude. So I don't know how you can use it against your own Timbersaw.
Okay, sorry.
It's against Medusa. Yeah, so it's going to be very strong for Drow versus Medusa matchup. Honestly, that's why they pick it up on the Drow. The active doesn't matter too much this game, or it can be maybe, but like it's really just about the passive. Yeah, and here I'm waiting for Kips to write her dissertation in the chat about why neutral items RNG is broken and why this is unfair to T1. And
Haste!
I'm waiting, Kips. Don't worry. We'll read it later.
She might be writing this right now. You don't have to wait that much. Carl.
Carl. There's the BKB. Plus activated. Amar in the wrong position. Amar! He thought too highly of himself. He's going to be blown up. Together with crystals as well. Easy 2 kills for T1. Kunkka becoming powerful. As now they find the Earthshaker. Yeah, sure, you have an Echo Slam, but no chance to use it. The stronger Earthbender is going to be the Leshrac. T1 takes down 4. Only a Kunkka left alive. They do have buyback, though, on 3 of these heroes. Only Timbersaw doesn't have buyback.
So you ever wondered if you could be too Chad? I think Amar answered that question right now. That was way too Chad, even for him. And I mean, I don't know. This is a huge problem.
But it's also that T1's been proposing the fights well. I want to point that out. Like, whenever they make a mistake, they immediately jump the Drow. They know what their objectives are. They're utilizing the NP really well to make sure that Drow has no chance to hit.
Yeah, I agree. But that was...
is under attack.
I mean, he definitely overestimated how much tanky he was, and he has no buyback going for a play like that. So they don't get any barracks, but it's going to be a free Roche, which is definitely what 23 Savage needs to keep those barracks.
And now we have the Shard Scepter, by the way, on Medusa, which I think is a big deal. Refresher Shard as well. The cheese.
Invisibility!
I guess you give it to Medusa for double stone.
I think so. Yeah, no boots. We'll keep both items there. You are playing against Drow, so the cheese might not actually regen that much, as long as she's hitting you. But, I mean, it's actually not going to regen at all, because you have Scotty and the Frost Arrows item chart.
Oh, yeah, that's
so he might regen like 200 HP. Like,
yeah, but it gives you 1,000 mana still, right?
True. Yeah, I don't think it works for mana. True.
No, I know it doesn't work for mana. I was hoping you would know that.
Okay. Yeah, still gonna be sliding
Radiant's top
past.
tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower.
Alright, so I think they have to go back here. Creep Wave, they're not in position.
Yep. And I think T1 will take the tower relatively quickly. At level 25 Flesh. Diabolic hitting explosions, hit the shard as well, which makes it really easy to push high ground. Creep Wave needs a good team play. Eventually.
Yes. You have Shaker. That's definitely possible.
Good positioning here by Carl and Splitter, as you see. He's
Yeah,
just,
I love that.
Covering Savage. Can you imagine if you were hit by Scotty and then you oh, never mind. They found Fishman. Super valuable. Carl jumps over him. Fishman, he's not able to use the Fiend Script this fight because he's been turned to stone and promptly shattered. They're gonna bring down Fishman 100 seconds without your fish. What are you gonna do? They still have damage, but not as much control. And in fact, Carl wants more. He sees Amar, but Amar's a bit too tanky. The visual will hit him. But 23 Savage is only interested in one thing. Those are the racks. They do actually get crystals, though. Yours. That didn't set up for the splitter, so that actually stopped the Mystic Snake as well. Not ideal here.
Radiant's top barracks.
23 Savage only thinks about one thing, and it's disgusting. And it's your barracks.
Your barracks, your towers. He just likes buildings, you know?
I mean, it's such a hard fight to take. Oh boy, Chew.
Chew, careful. The Pango goes in. We have a shield crash. They're a bit afraid of committing too much. They actually do use the Yule Scepter there, but no follow-up. Good gust there. Still, though, your racks are falling. They can't run away like your heroes. You need some sort of protection for them. So 40 seconds for Fishman to come back.
Radiant's middle.
Oh, no, Amar. And actually, it's going to be Crystal. It's because Medusa is playing like a melee carry, and it's working out. I think Crystal is dead. He has buyback though, but they kill the Kunkka on top of this. This could be pretty major. The Fissure helping them out ever so slightly. They do burst down Kunkka quickly, but that's in exchange for the Kunkka, and Kunkka also has his own buyback and the TP. Age is still on 23 Savage. We have an Echo Slam preserved. Crystal is coming back into the fray. He has his own Blink Dagger, but he can't blink that close into Medusa. And in the end, it's going to be Jeffer who falls, as Amar also dies there to Whitemon. Amar, I didn't actually see that. Amar went in for Jeffer.
I mean, it's a rough spot to be in. You're having this, like... And that's the problem with Timbersaw in general, right? You can be mega impactful in the early game, but this hero does fall off. And considering how much of a bounty and net worth he was carrying, like, he ends up giving a lot of gold, even though he like, that's his job. Like, his job is to create chaos and try to waste as much attention as possible so that his allies can hit people. But unfortunately, when he's doing that, he's dying because everyone on tier 1 is so farmed now.
Radiant's bottom barracks
Might
are
just
under
be
attack.
Mega Saga.
We did see a pin script here on Kuku.
Radiant structures are
It's
fortified.
Assassin.
Yeah.
Savage, okay, they hit him with a go shit. Active 4% by the way from which I know I saw the corrections. I don't see the same screen as you guys. I can't get to read the item, I'm sorry. We do have a Stone Gate available here for 23 Savage. You can still walk forward.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Late
attack.
Mare. Pretty big late there, but they beat some follow-up, and in the low ground it's harder for 23 Savage to hit. Amar is trying to create some space for them, and Savage, at least he does it with pressure though. Has a second Stone Gate, activates it immediately. Where's the Stone Gate though? That's all we need. Then put to sleep.
14 seconds per row.
This
Radiant's
Nightmare.
middle tower
That's gonna
is
be
under
ages. Oh, they're waiting. They're trying to calculate it. That's a bit more damage, but they don't want to give him that free life. They don't want to give him that free healing and turn him into a pig. A bit more seconds for Nightmare. The age is going to expire any second. And they're going to cancel it immediately. They're the torrent. They keep him stunned. Time to kill Savage.
Beautiful. Wow, that's so
Radiant's
good.
bottom barracks are under
At the same time, though, Fishman does die. Jeffer in trouble. They silence him. Jeffer, Go Scepter. Up in the air. Silence. Stunned as well, but doesn't matter because it's the X mark the spot that will send him to his death.
Wow, I'm actually really impressed. Like, if I was 22,000 gold behind like they are, it's really hard to be that disciplined when you're playing at such a farm Medusa. I'm surprised it worked that well, and they do hold barracks, so this is promising. I think T1 definitely got a little bit greedy there. They didn't have to force the ages that way, but they had the same problem Amar had. You're so far ahead that you feel like you're invincible. Happens with all of us.
Yeah, but it's still T1 in a nice comfy lead on that, right? Like you have enough of a cushion for you to allow yourself to make those kind of mistakes. And I wouldn't even say that big a mistake. It's just Creepwave playing really well.
Yes, I would agree.
Carl? Oh, well, this might be even more crucial.
You just jinxed T1.
Seeds of
Nice job, Avo. Maybe not.
What even is jinxing, though? What do you think? Do you think T1 is going to be affected by my words as a caster?
You do have a very powerful voice. I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you know how many people praise T1 on the daily? You know how many people Philippines has?
I actually don't.
I mean, neither, not off the top of my head, but it's a lot of people. Big country. Yeah, that's all I know.
It is a big country. I went to the Philippines once. It is actually massive.
It's also all of SCA pretty much that's supporting T1. They are unjixable. Look at this. Unjixable as they kill Fishman. No Scepter for Mix. That's going to help him out against Crystal. BKB. Activate Crystal though. His objective is actually Carl, not to kill Whitemon. And Carl is much more valuable. Carl trying to survive. Going to get hit with a Silver Edge. Not going to get that chance back. They also finish off Whitemon. So Creepwave. Now, I don't know if it was Jinx or they just decided to throw a bit, but it's good. A bit of throwing is good to keep you on your
What
toes,
did you
know?
say about Philippines and how big it is? And unjinxable? Huh? Yeah, I don't know. I think that was kind of unnecessary. Still a huge lead, and I do feel like right now the draft of T1, like, this Medusa seems unkillable. Provided they just fight as 5, I think the game could be even in net worth, and I will still favor Tier 1. But they're definitely allowing Creepwave to recover. Roche might spawn. You know, what if Roche spawns right now? This could be just a free Roche for creep wave, and then the game completely turns upside down. How many seconds? How much do you think was
What is this game? Like a minute? Oh wow. Okay. Almost the longest. Close to the longest Roche, huh?
Yeah. So.
Is this good for creep wave?
No, it's not. I feel like I do feel like T1. I mean, we did say that we consider T1 to be the better team, which means I feel like they will realize the situation they're in. They're gonna control the big jungle, make sure Roche is theirs, and it might be hard to expect another mistake like that from T1.
I would agree with that. I mean, I would assume that eventually the Drow can catch up because Medusa will run out of slots, right? And then Drow is just capable of beating her.
The problem is that Medusa just stands her ground so much better. Like, if they can just, like, impale Crystallis with no status resistance like he is right now, he can just be bursted. You know, there's a blink on the Shrek, there's global TP on NP. Whereas the Medusa, it is much harder. You're going to need much more time to do the same thing. Nope.
I want to say, by the way, that's a lot of information about this. T1 is not playing with 300 ping. They are playing in Europe. They have the exact same ping. Please be respectful to Creep Wave. Creep Wave is playing a good game. So it's T1. White Mon. There you go. Gust. Hey. Oh, stop Savage. Savage is scared. Savage just wants Fishman. They know they gotta get rid of that Beam Script first. What a play. Try to find Chu instead. Pancha. Is he capable of getting away? BZM. Not for now. Fishman's being chased down though by Carl. And maybe they might have just found Medusa. The ghost ships. No, it's too tanky. Even with all the hexes, they need the damage. They need someone there. They kill off White on the backside. The 22 Savage just flying to the death. Kunkka in the background as well, finishing off BZM. They still wanted Fishman, but Fishman is a bit too slippery. However, Crystal has died, which is a win for you anyway. Carl does manage to kill off Fishman finally, and Chuvashi even dies in front.
Barracks are under attack.
Oof. This should be GG. I don't think Creep Wave stands a chance any longer. They have no buybacks in any of these heroes, and the Medusa is just too strong.
Radiant structures are falling.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. The problem in this game is that even though Creep Wave got a lot of, like, they got a really good early game, they destroyed the lanes, they got that early Roche, I don't think they used the advantage as well as they should have. And Tier 1 being as good as they are, they made sure to capitalize on those kind of small mistakes that Creep Wave did. You know, they pushed their